Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. With me, as always, is the inventor of the infomercial and the original shark on the hit TV series Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington. Kevin, thanks so much for being with us.
Awesome to be here. Thank you, Seth.
You are welcome. We have a very special guest today, Kris Dehnert from Dugout Mugs. Kris, thanks for joining us.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Our pleasure. Let's go back in time just a little bit. For everybody who doesn't know, tell them what Dugout Mugs is and how you got started.
Yeah, so Dugout Mugs, it's pretty simple. We just took the barrel of a baseball bat and we hollowed it out and turned it into probably one of the coolest drinking mugs on the planet. I'm a little partial, right? But that is what we did. And you go all the way back to 2016. I've had my hands in several ventures along the way. Kevin, I know you can appreciate that. And a guy came to me with an idea, and my specialty is taking ideas to the next level. And I saw the guy, good owner operator, good culture, just good person. And I thought it was something I could really run with. And, that was almost $55 million ago. And we hit the ground running, scaling by triple digits year over year. And it's been a really fun ride, a lot of fun. I get to collaborate. I don't know if the video's live here, but all the people behind me, these are all MLB guys and celebs and people I get to work with on a frequent basis. It's just a lot of fun and great. It's a great business and a great brand. And now I own the whole thing. My partner at the time decided to retire about a year and a half ago, and I took the reins and just kept riding.
Kris, so it's an awesome business. You had to manufacture the product. So I don't know what was involved in that, but let's just talk about the different steps. One is you had to get the rights and licenses and things. You did get some licenses in the process, or
yeah?
Did you stay away from that? But
what I always believe, and I know you can attest to this. It's about who you know. Your network is everything, and I had a little piece of a company that had a license in the minor league baseball space already. So when we got rolling with the mug, we proved the concept. I immediately went to them and I said, "Hey, I got another product I want to put the license on." And that's pretty easy to get through the door when you already got, something going. And then we just started blowing away the minimums. And then we got the licensing and from the manufacturing side of things, you mentioned that like that never stops. We were doing that last week. You're always trying to drive the costs down, the efficiencies of it all, the quality control. I mean, this is a never-ending journey with manufacturing and production.
What do you think are some of the principles that have led to like your meteoric rise? I mean, you've done an incredible volume.
Honestly, not focusing on the money. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I don't know, about 10 years ago, my daughter is the timestamp for this. I got a 10-year-old. About 10 years ago, I got really sick and almost didn't come out the other side of that. And I remember when I was laying there in the hospital, I told myself to, chase the happy, chase the fun, not the money. And when that happens, oftentimes you get both. And so I think that was part of it, is we focused on doing the right things consistently and then having so many other metrics involved rather than just money. I'm not winning just money. I was winning with experiences, experiential company, who I get to meet, the things I get to do, the freedom of time with my family, things like that. So we were focusing, had a little bit different perspective on how to grow the business.
Yep. But didn't you have to focus on customer acquisition? That was probably one of your biggest scaling techniques, because you're a digital marketing guy, right?
Yeah, I've been in the space.
Talk about that customer acquisition and how you went about that.
Yeah, so it actually goes back to the print-on-demand T-shirt days. Do you remember that whole scale with that, the company Teespring back in the day? So I was the first guy on Teespring I kind of helped them come to market. And I had all these massive fan pages. And the trick was, how do I get this person's information onto my SMS or email list? SMS wasn't really big just yet, but on my email list, because if you own the data, you own it all. That's the magic bullet. So from the very beginning, through different strategies, gamification, tripwires, things like that, we focused on customer acquisition, giveaways and raffles and all these types of things, because then so at this point, our email list is almost 1 million strong, with 500,000 on an SMS list. And when you have that kind of power under your fingertip, like you can just print money. So that was one of our strategies, and it will be until this ride ends.
Yeah. Also, I know, in creating acquisition cost, you also focus on the average order value. How much can you sell somebody, right? Because I've had people come to me and say they have a product, but they failed with the product, and then they find out, people are going to buy 2 or 3 or more of these, right? So then you increase your revenues. So can you talk to that? Were people buying more than one?
It wasn't that they were buying more than one. We were focused on how frequently they can buy one. And, and this comes from a lot of polling, a lot of, just asking of questions, listening to the feedback. What we found is that 4 out of 5 times somebody's buying this as a gift. So rather than focus on increasing the AOV, we focused on how many times over the course of a year is there a gifting opportunity for somebody in this space. And what we found is that we have about a 20 to 22%, it fluctuates, return customer rate. So 1 in every 5 sales we get is a return customer, which is astounding.
Yeah.
And also pick your acronym with e-com. The one I love is LTV, right? How many times will they order, and for how long will they do that? Because then you can play the long game, which is something 90% of the people out there are scared to do or too broke to do. And that is play the long game of customer acquisition, build rapport, and then, and we have really high customer service. So we're 60,000 reviews online we have. So it's astounding. I don't know another company that has that, to be honest. And that's what we focus on.
So Kris, over the years, I've launched many products, and I love following you and what you've been doing. And I've seen you at a lot of the conferences, and we hook up. Just saw you a few weeks ago in Dallas, right? So I know you're out there making it happen. But at the end of the day, is there a big picture vision you have for your business? Like, do you want to sell it? You want to, because as you create this asset, the company and the success, is there an asset there that could be sold to somebody?
Yeah. So I try to live by sayings. They're on my walls next to me here as just constant reminders. And the one thing that I focus on is I'm going to build this to sell and then decide if I want to. Right. So it's always going to be structured and positioned and attractive enough to acquire. And the day that somebody wants it more than I do, they can have it. Right. But the reason I've collected customers, north of 1 million customers, the reason I have all the licenses and the diversification of products is because the multiple, like I'm not a bottle rocket, I'm an entire display. And that's the goal there, is so that it's applicable to multiple industries. So a strategic can come along at a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 multiple. So yeah, I'm building for that, but it's going to, like I said, I'm having a lot of fun, man. It's going to have to take a nice number to make me go away.
You mentioned email and SMS. You ever do anything with direct mail marketing?
We played with it, but it wasn't done right. Honestly, I had a colleague of mine. He's since passed, but he owned a direct mail company, and we were in the process of kind of working on that. I think you know how it is. I mean, if they're here, go there. And that's just
With your
marketing.
passionate fan base, I would think it'd be a layup.
Well, and it's also the average age of our
Yep.
fan base. It's predominantly female, predominantly north of 40, which is
I got
not
advertisers who would line up to pay for that.
exactly. And that's my point is, and again, but we got that information by asking better questions. I'm not going to make assumptions that I think I know who's buying our stuff. I'm going to ask, and I'm going to ask why. And as it turns out, when 83% of the time it's a gift, now it's starting to make sense, right? But yeah, so I think it does make a lot of sense, and something I would love to get back into and play around with a little bit.
Nice. And so do you see doing are there product extensions from here? I mean, obviously you've got a good line right now, but what are some of the other things these folks might be interested in buying?
And talk a little bit about the different things besides just the dugout mug.
Yeah, so there's a lot. And in fact, I usually keep some of it on my desk, like just to remind me to keep following up. So we started taking coasters that are made out of stone we have home plate coasters that are wooden engraved, half baseball cut in half, turned into bottle openers. So, and we have whiskey mugs and wine mugs and short and tall and stainless. So we took a singular product and really diversify. We probably have about 12 different designs that are currently live with MLB marks on it. And I mean, we even got into the ornament space. These are baseball ornaments for holiday and seasonal. And we've been picked up recently by Hallmark, Dick's Sporting Goods, Rally House, Shields, Hammacher, Schlemmer, Uncommon Goods. So there's a lot of different angles to take here. Like these are going to absolutely crush for Hallmark, right? Going into Q4. So I'm trying to then take the seasonality and the cyclical buying habits out of our business. So I know Q1 and Q3 are big for wholesale. Q2 is big with opening day and Mother's Day, Father's Day. And then Q4, that's Christmas and Black Friday and playoffs. So that's what I'm actually doing is I'm trying to plan to fill the dead spots to keep the momentum. That's mainly what I've been focused on.
Very good. Very good.
That's awesome. What do you like? Your passion's obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
Oh, dude, everything. I also own a golf company, and a cigar line. So I get, golf and beer and baseball and cigars, and I work from home and get to play with my kids. Later today, I'll probably go bowling with them. I got an incredible people around me, a very small team, but that's by design. So it's all that's what so when I came out the other side of that sickness, I had a lot of opportunities, and I still do to this day. I have plenty of people that wish I was doing what they're doing, but it just doesn't fit my lifestyle. I like, we're going to the Bahamas in a couple of days. I like to travel. I like to golf. I like to fish. I like to, go to celebrity events and do all this fun stuff. And I mean, ultimately, I like what I'm doing because it allows me to do what I do best and network and be around great people.
That's an awesome way to look at it is if you like what you're doing, don't focus on the money, focus on having fun, building a business. It all comes around. I've got some baseball products. I don't want to talk about it during this session, but separate and apart from this, the other day, one of my buddies, Gary Sheffield, called. He's I got this hot thing you got to take a look at, right? So I said, I knew that we were going to be talking, but after I finish a few more details of getting up to speed on it, I'm going to get back to you, Kris, because you're good in this category. You're changing the game for many of the folks out there, and congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. We're one of the fastest growing licensees in Major League Baseball in 20 years. So I know what we're doing. And now we scaled back when I bought my partner out about a year and a half ago. We scaled back to just reset some things, but I think that's healthy to continue to assume that what got you here will take you there, I think that's foolish. So I went back in and assumed we did a lot of things wrong, and I was right. And we're fixing those along the way and building it back up. But it's ramping up quickly, and new products is certainly on the radar. And I know Gary, great dude, and he knows me as well. So certainly connect those dots if you guys want to throw some stuff around.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, we know your time's incredibly valuable. We appreciate you spending some of it with us. There will be a very generous 25% discount off code for Dugout Mugs in the show notes, everybody. Go make sure and check that out. This has been Seth Greene for Sharkpreneur with Kevin Harrington and Kris Dehnert. Kris, thanks again for joining us.
Absolutely. See y'all.
Good seeing you guys. Take care.
Thanks, everybody, for watching or listening. We'll talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.